a lot more terrible. But I just think for this team coming off a Super Bowl, still not playing their best game. They still have not played the best version. And they're not supposed to. It's September. I get it. But the fact that they have found ways to win, they're the new Kansas City Chiefs. I just think that's what this team has.
Stop. Don't say the new Kansas City
I do think there is
Chase,
I think there is something to that, Diana.
Sure is.
Of figuring out ways to win games like that. And figuring out a way, like I think you do learn that, and I think good teams know how to do it.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you both a question. In fact,
okay.
So 2 years ago, I don't know. I'm not going to have this stat correct. I know that, but I believe they started 10-0 or 11-0.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, you mean Philly? I thought you were talking about Kansas
Philly.
City.
Philly. They started 10-0, 11-0, whatever it is. And then they really struggled down the stretch.
What happened?
And I it's way too early to say this, but it looks like, remember that they were barely winning games, but they were finding ways to win, and we were like,
this is with Brian Johnson. This is 2 years. This is
2 years ago. That's what I'm
there's
saying.
a lot of play callers mixed in here, guys.
Yes, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is still Jalen Hurts, but that was 2 years ago. Remember how we were like, oh man, like, okay, they're finding ways to win, exactly what you just said, and they're good, and then they started really struggling down the stretch as teams figured them out. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But I do feel the start of the game and the start of this year, even though they're finding ways to win, they haven't been dominant. And I like that they're finding ways to win. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm going to keep my eye on the next few weeks, is like 2 years ago.
You just poo-pooed Diana saying it's like the Chiefs, and that's exactly what the Chiefs did last year. They started 11-0, and if you ask anyone on that coaching staff, they were like, we shouldn't be winning these games.
Brother, Jalen Hurts is not Patrick Mahomes.
I didn't say that.
No,
she said the Kansas City Chiefs.
She
didn't. She said the Chiefs.
I am not
she said the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are the Chiefs are because of Patrick Mahomes. Let's make sure that's completely out there. You know what I mean?
Is Eagles offense vanilla right now?
Very. Yeah, watching them on the game, they have 3 to 4 different runs, and they're an empty and then some play action. Pretty vanilla. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it need to be chocolate for them to be good?
Well, if you don't want to fall behind and rely on Jalen Hurts' arm, I think it needs to be like a mix, like chocolate vanilla, right? Like I think there has to be some more stuff. I think
Neapolitan.
Here's what's happening is teams are daring so far this year, Jalen Hurts, to throw the football down the field. And until the second half of this past game, he has not been good at it. When he's good at it and teams dare them and stack the box to stop Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts in the run,
Super Bowl.
when they'll go to the Super Bowl. They will.
No, that happened in the Super Bowl.
That's
100%.
Yeah.
And that, but I'm just saying that's what it takes for the Philadelphia Eagles this version this year, because they're gonna every game they're gonna make Jalen Hurts beat him with the arm. Now Saquon's gonna get his yards, right? But he ain't getting 2,000 this year. Like people are off the bus trying to stop the run. I just think they're just such the better roster, and they're the better players, and they're just like, especially on defense, like they impose their will, and when they're rolling up front, like it's just hard to beat them. But I do think people stack the box down and make Jalen beat you with his arm.
What you said, Chase, as I close this out on Jalen before we get to Justin Herbert, is exactly right.
Dude is a hater, man. He's definitely a hater. But we're going to address him. Man. But before we do that, let's hear a word from the sponsor. Prophetess is a new peer-to-peer sports exchange where you can play against other fans and knock the house. That means better lines and even a chance to set your own odds. So download the app, use promo code EAGLEAL to get 1.5% Prophetess cashback for your first 30 days up to $200. As you see here, looking at the games that's coming up Sunday. But there is a game Thursday, Seattle versus the Cardinals. I'm really liking Seattle. Seattle look like they starting to find a groove. I will actually go with the point spread. I like this point spread. And you give me a Thursday game, I would say the under. Point spread, Seattle, under, I like. But if you don't like these odds, you could click here, review the markets. It's 122 markets as we speak. And then if you don't like the odds at the 1.5, you got 2 here. You can actually go 1, basically point spread. You got 2.5. So again, just multiple markets here. I really like Profit X, man. It's really cool. It's a cool app. Again, if you want the benefits of using this, just put in promo code EagleAL, and let's get back into the video. All right, man. So let's address Chase Daniel, our friend Chase Daniel, right? Had a lot to say. So first, let's attack the first point. He said the Eagles haven't looked dominant. First 2 games, I could somewhat agree with him a bit, but not really, is because the defense had been dominant. Now, it's been one side of the ball, but that one side of the ball has been very dominant. Now, it took 10 quarters for the offense to be dominant too, to show what the offense really have. But the problem is, I think with the offense is getting caught up in analytics way too much. It's either that or 2, Kevin Patullo and those guys don't trust Jalen Hurts too much. I know a lot of Eagles fans don't want to hear that. I even don't want to hear that. But I'm trying to, come up with logical reasons why you not using AJ, or why you're not using Dallas, and why you're not using Devontae, and why it took for us to be basically getting blown out by the Rams for you to be like, you know what, let's pull out this weapon too. So I'm just trying to justify, like, is that true? I don't know. But, hopefully that's not the case. And hopefully it's more of, we getting way too caught up in analytics, way too caught up in numbers. So I disagree with him with that. And like I said, we showed dominance. It only been for 2 quarters as far as what the offense and what the offense could really be. And he even said it. Saquon didn't even get his legs up under him yet. But when Saquon had that game and the offense and the passing offense continue to do what it's doing, it can be dominant for sure. And he brought up the classic 2023 line. Anytime I hear that, you lost the argument, and I think you're a complete idiot if you ever bring that up. One is because that team had no defense. Like, no defense. Linebackers weren't that great. Sorry, Nakobe Dean that year, just wasn't ready yet. Safeties, corners wasn't that great. That team was legitimately afraid to hit. I'm sorry, Big Play Slay, but you guys weren't hitting. Bradbury, you guys, I'm sorry. What I seen with my own 2 eyes, y'all look afraid to hit. So 2023 defense, that's the big difference. Was a bit scary. Now the offense, gotta wait and see. But this defense I'm watching right now don't look scary. This defense, I've seen only allow a touchdown in the second half in 3 games, only 1 touchdown. We've been shutting down guys in the second half. So that's the big difference. And he's saying, well, I'm not trying to compare to 2023, but I mean, note it. Nah, you can't note that because the defense is Vic Fangio's defense. It's not Sean Desai. It's not Matt Patricia, a.k.a. Coach Pencil's defense at all. So you can scratch that. It's nothing like 2023. Is he trying to say, oh, this team going to start off fast and then completely slow down? No. And what I do agree with him with, but in a different way, he said, this team not the Chiefs at all. Just finding ways to win. The Chiefs, well, they had Patrick Mahomes, this, that, and the third. Well, I think this team is going to be more dominant than the last year's Chiefs. Right now, yes, we find the ways to win, but we're going to have games we completely dominate teams. It's week 3. We still trying to figure out our identity. So let us figure it out. Give us by week 8, week 9, we'll revisit. But I don't see a collapse. I actually see us more building than collapsing. I see a better version of this team week 9, week 10, where we figure out, are we just going to be more passing this year than running? Or the running game going to eventually pick it up and we're going to be able to be run heavy. I think we just have an identity crisis because last year we just ran the ball like crazy. And this year, it's something totally different and the defense are adjusting. But I don't get a sense of 2023 because what I seen first, the last 2 quarters against the Rams, I'm like, okay, this offense is still there. And this team playing together, that team in 2023 had no unity at all. So again, every time I hear that, It's nonsense. But I do agree with him that this team is not the Chiefs defense. And he compared a player. He said Jalen Hurts is not Patrick Mahomes, which I will agree with. But the Chiefs are not the Eagles. They don't have AJ. They don't have Devontae. They don't have a Saquon. They don't have, I'm sorry, Spags, but y'all don't have a Vic Fangio. I think Vic Fangio is better than Spags. Sorry, y'all don't have they don't have our O-line. I'm saying y'all because I know he a Chief by heart. That's why you hate the Eagles so much. Sorry, Chase, but you off on this one. You're off on this one. Eagles are not going to collapse. Any of that nonsense you're talking about. And keep praying on that downfall, but it ain't going to happen. But that's all I got for you guys today. And hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel? Is Chase Daniel off on this one, or do he got a point? Or am I off? I don't know. Though I broke that down pretty good. I don't know. But this is EAGLEAL, man. I'm up.